This week on Unscripted, we have news on WWE's new TV deal and what it means for both Raw and SmackDown Live. Roman Reigns responds to a Hall of Famer on if he should be turning heel, and what is Vince McMahon's thoughts on Drew McIntyre. This and more on the future #1 podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Unscripted. What is going on, everybody? It is the France, and we're here for episode 20 of Unscripted. As you see on the screen right there, it is May 19th, 2018. May 19th. Yeah, back in the day. But we have a lot to get into for news today. Not as much as I would like to, but it is what it is. They're over in the UK. We will talk about the new UK tournament and all the competitors. I do have familiarity with some of the newcomers, not all of them, but most of them, which I'm going to talk about them later on. Again, WWE has a new TV deal set in place for Monday Night Raw, it sounds like, and SmackDown Live. Not so lucky. We'll have to talk about that. Roman does respond to a Hall of Famer on a heel turn, which we will talk about that in full, and what WWE's thoughts on Drew McIntyre and everything else in between. But of course, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live this week were from the UK. Both shows were It is the UK. It always seems like when it comes to the UK shows, they phone them in more than they do in other weeks. They don't put on strong shows. Half the time we see a UK crowd that's crazy, wild, and excited to be there, and they just it's like, here's poop on a plate. There you go, eat that. That's what you get for That's what you get for a WWE show. It's just they don't always seem to be knocked out of the parks. Which I think if you're a company like WWE, you should be trying to knock it out of the park every single week when you were back in the day, because you had to. Now they don't have to, so they just say, well, we're just going to go to UK. Here's everybody here. Here's the women. Here's the men. Here's the tag teams. But of course, Monday Night Raw had the best part of the week, in my opinion, outside of, I think it rivals AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown, rivals Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. Both of those matches were great for TV. Seth Rollins, of course, again showing that he is the best on Monday Night Raw and probably in the company right now. And he should be the guy going up against a Brock Lesnar or going up against anybody. And he should be the WWE Universal Champion by the end of this year. WWE needs to get off of the high horse of Roman Reigns. They need to. This guy has been shoved down our throat for 4 long years, and it's continuing. They're having him come out to try and be the new Daniel Bryan. Him come out and say, oh, management's holding me down. Management doesn't want me to get ahead. Yet you're going up against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31 in the main event. Up against Triple H at WrestleMania 32. One of the worst WrestleManias of all time in the main event. The fucking Undertaker in the main event. And this year, against Brock Lesnar, in the main event. You main evented into Greatest Royal Rumble, which, outside of the Royal Rumble match, you had the main event singles match on the card. You main evented over the WWE Championship at a B-level pay-per-view, yet management's holding you down. Give me a fucking break. If that's how management's holding down, well, fuck, I don't care. Management can hold me the hell down if they're going to give me that type of props and let me do shit like that. Give me a damn break, Roman. Now, what do we do with Roman Reigns? He needs to get out of the Universal Championship picture right now. It did help Seth Rollins when Seth was gone for 2 months. It was gone for 8 months. When he was gone, he lost his WWE Championship. He got injured on a frequent move over in, I think it was Scotland or somewhere like that, Glasgow somewhere. Went for a turnbuckle powerbomb, flipped over, sunset flip powerbomb, and his knee buckled. It happens. It happens. You can't blame anyone. It just happens. But let's see here. He went away. He came back. Crowd went crazy. They tried to book him as a heel again, which was a dumb mistake right then and there, right off the bat. Like him coming back is like, oh, I got all these letters. I got everything from you guys, and I just burned it all to the ground. Seth Rollins is the man now, though. 2 years later, and Seth Rollins is the fucking man. 3 years later, whenever he came back. Yeah, 2 years later. He is the man. This guy is back to form where he was before the injury, when he was WWE champion under the authorities' thumb, pretty much being manipulated to think that he did the right thing, turning on the Shield. He did the right thing, becoming their guy. And this guy is putting on a freaking clinic every single time. He's doing more with the Intercontinental Championship than Roman did, or The Miz did, or anybody else has done since, let me think here. It's been a while since someone's actually done something with the Intercontinental Championship, like Seth Rollins has done since he got it at WrestleMania. Defending it. He's just he is the man, and honestly, I think he should be the one getting the next match against Brock Lesnar. Why? It goes into that storyline. They really want to go the Daniel Bryan route. Roman Reigns gets slighted. Roman Reigns does not get another title shot. He is pissed. He's in the background. He's at SummerSlam, but he doesn't have a match. Why? Because management wants to hold him down. They want to play this management holds him down storyline. He doesn't have a match at SummerSlam. But why? Because they have bigger plans for him. We have Seth Rollins. I just watched this off the script yesterday from JD. He's talking about this match between Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins for the Universal title and the Intercontinental title. And Roman Reigns screws both guys out of it with the Authors of Pain. And I have to agree with him on that. I thought it was a good idea way before I even heard anything from him. I thought it was a good idea. I don't think I pitched it before him, but I'm sure he did before me. But Roman Reigns and the Authors of Pain, not as the Empire of Pain, just the Roman Empire. Every time Roman comes out, it says on his Titantron, the Roman Empire. What? Wait, that's not a babyface thing. The Roman Empire, that is not just like Balor Club should not be a babyface thing. It should be the Roman Empire of Roman Reigns, Akam, and Rezar. We had two heavies who do the dirty work for Roman Reigns. This would also be great if he was actually being the Money in the Bank ladder match, because he holds onto the briefcase. He gets told by management you can't cash. He's not allowed to cash in at SummerSlam or whatever. Like he can't have another title match or whatever. And somehow him and Akam and Rezar join forces at SummerSlam, beating down both guys. If you really wanted to do the champion versus champion thing at SummerSlam, it's too bad he doesn't have the Money in the Bank, because it would have been crazy to see him come out with the Authors of Pain come out, destroy both guys, Super Collider, last chapter to both of them, another Super Collider, whatever you have to do, weapons, whatever. They beat them down. Roman comes out. This is if he had the briefcase. Roman would come out, and they could have him beat somebody for the briefcase if they really wanted to give him the briefcase, since he's not in the Money in the Bank ladder match, just because that's what Vince McMahon can do. But he comes down, he would cash in and win both titles, because it was technically a champion versus champion match, but that's not going to happen. But yes, I could see Roman Reigns sitting in the background. He's getting paranoid. The management doesn't really want to keep him down. I mean, none of us are buying that. But in Roman Reigns' mind, in his sick, demented mind, he's starting to see, hey, they don't want me as champion. They don't want me to be the top guy. I'm sitting here busting my ass for this guy named Vince McMahon, and he's going to turn on me and give Seth Rollins my opportunities? Are you kidding me? No. I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and I'm going to go take out Seth Rollins. I'm going to go take out Brock Lesnar. I have two heavies who are ready to back me up, and we're going to go beat these guys' ass, destroy the fucking ring to end SummerSlam. SummerSlam ends with carnage in the ring. Both men down, the ring destroyed, the set destroyed, everything gets destroyed by Akam, Rezar, and Roman Reigns, and they come out the next night on Monday Night Raw, and they're saying, we're here to take over. And there you go. You have yourself a heel faction that we have not seen on the main roster since the Nexus. Except this time with Roman Reigns being the head of the Nexus, of the Roman Empire, I don't see them getting squashed like the Nexus did in 2010. That was still the dumbest thing that WWE has ever done for new talent. But that is something that I can see them doing, having pretty much the entire ring destroyed. Roman Reigns turns heel, and it doesn't matter if fans cheer, if fans boo. It's just how fans are now. But you can't have Roman Reigns be seriously considered the top babyface if all he's going to do is come out and get heel and get go away heat. This is not heel heat. Tommaso Ciampa being booed and being told you suck and fuck you Ciampa and shit like that in NXT, he's a heel. When we get to the Roman Reigns thing, he does talk about, well, what is the point of me turning heel because I already am a heel? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're coming out, you're saying you're better than Brock Lesnar, you're the guy who you should be Universal Champion because it's pretty much because it's your birthright. WWE holding you down, I'm being screwed over by the man, I'm better than Brock Lesnar, blah, 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 give me a fucking break. No, you are not a heel. You might think that you're a heel, but you are not. Roman Reigns needs to drop the music. Basically, SummerSlam, like, Roman Reigns needs to go away. He does. Roman Reigns needs to go away. He needs to go away for good and then come back after a 2-month period. We'll talk about Randy Orton, who's going to be gone for about 2 months too, and how that's going to help people, like, cheer, like, get behind him. I'm hoping Randy Orton comes back, and we'll talk about that later. He turns heel. Heel turns need to happen. A big reason I want Bobby Roode and Roman Reigns to both turn heel is because there's not many heels on SmackDown. There's not many credible heels. You have Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Elias, and I think that's it. Whereas on Raw's babyface side, you have Bobby Lashley, who is trash. You have Braun Strowman, you have Seth Rollins, you have Roman, you have the Leaders of Worlds. You have so many more babyfaces. You need to have a balancing out. But top babyfaces, really, you don't. Top babyfaces: Roman, Braun, Seth, and Bobby, and it's like, and then Rude if you want to count him too. And that's 5 when you have that's 5 heels to that's 5 babyfaces to 3 heels. That's kind of unbalanced. Turn Bobby Roode heel or turn Roman Reigns heel. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler are not up at the top side yet. They're kind of mid-card right now because they just got up there. They just started. Maybe they get a tag team title opportunity later on down the road. But we will talk about him and about Drew McIntyre as well. But of course, after Monday Night Raw was over, we didn't have much other than we had the great match between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, which shows again how Seth Rollins should be the man. He should be the guy going up against a Brock Lesnar and the Iron Man gimmick idea that they have, which honestly I don't think they can actually use because somebody who's coming into the UK division already has that moniker sewn up. But this guy again shows why he should be the man. Then we get the SmackDown Live, and of course it's like, well, it looks like SmackDown. If you were to rate matches of the week for main roster, you would have to sit there and wonder which was better, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens or Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. If you wanted to, I would probably go with Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens because they were fighting for the Intercontinental title, whereas AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura were only wrestling to see who would pick a stipulation for their match for the WWE title at Money in the Bank. So it's more of I would sit there and pick one over the other, in my opinion. But you had that match. They had a bunch of Money in the Bank qualifiers. I do like the fact that main roster's main focus is Money in the Bank. The men's is set almost. We have Big Cass versus Samoa Joe next week on SmackDown to finish that field. I'm glad that they pulled it out. They just stretched it out a little bit more instead of saying 2 weeks and we're done. The women's still is halfway done. We have 2 on each side. I'm pretty sure we'll have one qualifying match for the women next week on Raw and one qualifying match for the women next week on SmackDown, which is Lana versus Peyton versus Billie Kay. I honestly see Billie Kay making the Money in the Bank women's ladder match, even though I wouldn't care which one got in. I don't see either one of those women winning. The winner of the Women's Money in the Bank, in my opinion, has already made her got in. It's going to either be Ember Moon, Alexa Bliss, or Becky Lynch, or Charlotte. Plain and simple. One of the four who are already on there. Everyone else is just there. And then, of course, we get to the best time of the week, and that is NXT. And what happens? Very first thing of the show, Johnny Gargano's music hits. Everyone's like, even Marinello's like, oh my god, Johnny's back. And out comes Tommaso Ciampa. Loved it. Loved every moment of that segment. Tommaso Ciampa comes out. He talks shit on Johnny Gargano. He says he's won the war. And then Candice LeRae comes out. Candice LeRae pretty much says that I don't know who you are anymore. You are a monster, and I will never forgive you. I'm tired of shedding tears over what you have done to our family. Tommaso Ciampa pretty much, he then says, "Oh, you said something about your wedding, huh? Well, while your wedding was going on, I was thinking the whole time, how could this woman marry this, like, he was going to say something, and then she slaps him, and that was that." A lot of people are speculating that maybe Candice LeRae versus Tommaso Ciampa might happen down the future, and I don't see that happening just because this is WWE. Even though it is on the network, they have to hold themselves, they want to hold themselves to standards outside of, like, indie events. Yes, Candice LeRae's gone up against her own husband, I'm pretty sure. She's gone up against Kevin Owens. Her last match was against Joey Ryan, of all people. She's mixed it up with the men before. But WWE is not going to do that anymore. That was 2000. That was 99, I think it was 99 to 2000. And what was it? 2000. When was the last intergender match? I think it was when Jacqueline won the cruiserweight title from Chavo Senior. Either way, that's not, like, WWE is not going to do that anymore. It's family friendly. We can't have men on women violence. Even though Ronda Rousey can go mix it up with Triple H in a six-woman in a mixed tag match at WrestleMania, put him in the clutch, the armbar for a bit. Yeah, but you can't have anything else like that. Sure, whatever you want to say, Vince. But that was SmackDown, Raw, and NXT for the week. NXT, of course, showing WWE how it's done. I did watch 205 Live on tape delay because I was in the middle of recording my SmackDown Live review when 205 Live was going on. The cruiserweights and it should have been It should have been 205 versus the UK is what it should have been labeled as, because that's what it was. For the most part, you had three matches. I think it was, but you got to see the likes of Kenny Williams and those other ones. Who else was there? There was Joseph Connors was back, and WWE's got this big deal about Joseph Connors' ear. I guess he had a fight he got beat up in a fight in a bar and lost half his ear. I don't know if that is actually true, or they just went, Joseph Connors, cut your ear off. I can see WWE doing that because they want to do something different. But yeah, I remember watching Joseph Connors in What Culture Pro Wrestling. I don't remember his ear being cut off like that, so that had to happen like right before he joined WWE. But yeah, that was a pretty good show. But of all the shows this week, if you want to rank them from best to worst, Monday Night Raw was in fourth, SmackDown Live was in third, 205 Live was in second, of course, every week as it is. WWE's NXT became number one again. So that was that. Time to get into the news for the week. We start off with a new deal in the news in place. A deal in place for Raw, but SmackDown Live is up in the air. WWE Raw will most likely be staying on the USA Network, according to Hollywood Reporter. According to the report, NBC Universal is said to be close to renewing the deal for Raw at 3 times its current value. As for SmackDown Live, WWE is shopping around to other networks after NBCU declined to renew the deal for the show. It was noted that SmackDown has been speculated to move to Fox. NBCU has paid $30 million for SmackDown franchise in 2010. WWE and NBCU, they both declined comments on the negotiations, which are still underway. They kind of can't say anything because the negotiations aren't final. Once they are final, we will know more. WWE's current deal with NBCU expires on September 30th of 2019. They have publicly stated that they plan to announce their U.S. distribution plans for September. WWE's current contract and NBCU generated $180 million last year. So it's gonna suck for the fact that WWE is going to make a lot on Monday Night Raw. What does this mean? Well, What Culture Wrestling came out and said, and had a video out that I couldn't find any credible source to it, but they had somebody, I guess it was Dave Meltzer or something, with anything that comes from Dave Meltzer is 95% his opinion. So that's that. But with this new deal and having Raw being valued at 3 times its original value, that is going to mean WWE is going to just not give a fuck about any of the pay-per-views outside of WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Money in the Bank maybe, and the Royal Rumble. All B-show pay-per-views are going to mean jack shit. Why? Because Raw makes more money than them. They're on the WWE Network. So they don't make as much money as they used to with the pay-per-views, and that was Vince McMahon's mistake. WWE will make more money in 2019 with Monday Night Raw than they will with the pay-per-views, and that is the fact. So maybe when Raw goes that 3 times, when Raw makes that much money, maybe we'll see pyro again. Maybe we'll see special effects. Maybe we won't get those ugly-ass fucking words. But WWE is looking to break up the USA Network duo, which, of course, the USA, even if Fox or somewhere else gets a deal for SmackDown Live, it won't go into effect till next year. So SmackDown will be on the USA Network for the remainder of this year and going up until September of next year. That's just how it is. They're not just going to be like, well, we're not renewing you, so get it off of here. This isn't like WCW when they pretty much got canceled. They got canceled and they got thrown off of TNT and TBS before their contract was up. NBC is just not renewing the contract. They could cancel SmackDown if they wanted to, but then WWE would probably be like, well, if you're going to do that, then we're going to take Monday Night Raw and you're screwed. So I'm pretty sure we're safe to say that SmackDown is going to stay on USA Network for the remainder of this year and most of next year. Roman Reigns responds to Steve Austin saying he needs to turn heel. Roman Reigns was interviewed by The Express during the current WWE tour in the UK. Below are some of the highlights. Steve Austin on his podcast saying that Roman Reigns should turn heel to have the biggest run. I think everybody has their opinion, Roman says. Like ice cream, everybody has their flavor every day. Everybody has their opinion. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He definitely knows the area and the territory that I'm in. He knows what it's like to pull the trigger and be a workhorse. So I think there's definitely a lot of truth to what he has to say, and I value his opinion. It is going to happen. I can't guarantee that. It's one of those situations where you kind of got to take it week by week and just understand the role. I definitely think there's a lot of great truth to what he's thinking and his knowledge of the game, but Stone Cold is not my boss. Roman continues on if he should turn heel. Would I like to turn heel? I don't know. It's a weird question because aren't I already a heel? No, Roman, you are not. If I garnered that reaction, what's the point? If it's already happening, I'm already being booed, why try and get booed? Because it is pretty much Roman Reigns being heel is his birthright. An Anawale. He is an Anawale. He is part of the Anawale family. Outside of The Rock, outside of Jimmy Snuka, outside of Rikishi when he became Rikishi, but before that he was part of the Head Shrinkers and the Samoan SWAT team and the Sultan. After that, you are born and raised in the wrestling business to be a heel. Plain and simple. The Anawales, the Samoans, are always born to be heels. The Wall Samoans, heel. Tongo, who was it? Samu Fatu, heel. Always should be heel. Rock, of course. Rock is not actually an Anawale. He's just like a side cousin or something like that. You're always meant to be heel. He continues to say, I think that right now I'm in a cool situation and kind of a little bit different than anybody because the only person that really has been in my shoes before is John Cena. Well, there's a difference, Roman, and we'll get to that in a second. But Cena is Cena. You know I'm nothing like him. I've never been like him. I think I'm in a good place to kind of do whatever I want to do with this character and not necessarily just be a heel or a babyface. I feel like my character can be so much more than that. Yes, but John Cena has been a heel. Oh, what? John Cena was a heel? Never. 2002, all the way up till about October 2003, John Cena was a heel. John Cena, it was a year heel. He was a heel. Every big star has had a single heel run. Everybody. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns needs to, but Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Stone Cold, John Cena, Hogan, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels have all had heel runs. You gotta be a heel. You gotta be in the darkness for 6 months, 7 months, whatever, and to be able to be embraced in the light as a single star. It needs to happen. No, you getting booed right now, Romans, is not go. That is called go away heat. That is not what you call good heat. That is terrible for somebody who wants to be a babyface. It just does not work. You need to be a heel. It is your WWE trying to pull this entire. Well, the management's holding him down. He's not her guy. Then who is? Seriously, Brock Lesnar? Is that your guy? Yeah, no. WWE needs to look at themselves in the mirror and listen, we fucked up. Roman Reigns should not be in the position that he's in, and we need to do something about it. WWE keeps going down this path that Vince McMahon is holding me down. The management, they didn't say Vince McMahon. Management is holding me down. Best for business. You're going to hurt Roman Reigns so badly and so poorly that he will never be believable to anybody. Period. Roman Reigns isn't believable now. Him turning heel is the only saving grace, especially if you give him the Authors of Pain, who haven't been seen on TV for 3 weeks. Will we see them next week? If not, if they're being repackaged to be with Roman Reigns, and if they're getting new gear, because that takes a while to get, and they're trying to work on getting them to be gone, then that's one thing. But Roman Reigns needs to turn heel, join the Authors of Pain, make it the Roman Empire, and go from there. Because right now, Roman Reigns, as a babyface, is getting go-away heat. This is not the reaction that somebody like him should be getting. It's not working. It is never going to work, and he needs to figure it. Him saying, I feel like my character can be so much more. Saying want to do with this. I'm in a good place to kind of do whatever I want with this character, and not necessarily just be a heel or a babyface, is stupid as fuck to say. Plain and simple. Roman Reigns turn heel, suit, tie, nice, expensive, not some cheap one, nice, expensive wristwatch, cell phone at his beck and call. Anytime he's in an interview, that phone needs to fucking ring. He has an attitude and he just walks off because his time is more important somewhere else than this fucking interview. Plain and simple. And yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin, of most people, should be able to tell you, hey, you should be a heel, and the WWE should, Vince McMahon should be, talking to Steve Austin about this stuff, because Vince McMahon should be talking to him because he was a top guy. And Vince McMahon had this guy as his babyface, but before that, he was a great heel. Time to figure things out. Time to abandon shit with Roman Reigns. Give us a new top guy. The babyface Roman Reigns experiment is dead. So let's move on. 16 men competing in the UK tournament. Kathy Kelly put out 2 videos, which obviously were taped back to back. Just how it was. And below are the 16 competitors. Zach Gibson, Joe Coffey, Jack Gallagher, Dave Mastiff, Kenny Williams, El Ligero, Joseph Connors, Amir Jordan were the first 8. Travis Banks, Flash Morgan Webster, who was also on WWE's 205 Live, Jordan Devlin, Tucker, Drew Gulak, Ashton Smith, James Drake, and Tyson T-Bone. James Drake and Tyson T-Bone were in the tournament last year, so was Joseph Connors. Now, of these guys, I know outside of course, Jack Gallagher and Drew Gulak, and Drew Gulak is the only American man in this tournament. Do I see him making it past the first round? I doubt it. But Zach Gibson, nasty heel. Guy is so full of himself. He is Liverpool's #1. He is a prick. This guy thinks this guy is a great fucking heel. This guy is going to do great. Joe Coffey, the Iron Man, the Iron King. Love this guy's work. This guy was part of WCPW back when it was a thing, before it became Defiant Wrestling. He was there too. He is definitely a hell of a guy. He is definitely better than his brother Mark. Mark is just not needed to be talked about. Joe Coffey, he had this whole entire gimmick of being the Iron Man, so he'd come out with an Iron Man an Iron Man mask on. I don't think he'd be able to do that in WWE, so they're going with the Iron King gimmick. He did have a match in, I think it was ICW first or Progress against one Cassius Ohno a couple months ago. I really hope they put that in the hidden gems now, since he's going to be in WWE. I would really like to see that match because he is a hard hitter. Think of Cassius Ohno for Joe Coffey, just a little bit bigger. He is one hard hitter, and this guy, he is the Iron Man, he is the Iron King, and he is going to be doing well. Jack Gallagher, we know who that is. Dave Mastiff, big brooding guy, big guy. He's huge. I've seen him a couple times in What Culture Pro Wrestling and Defiant Wrestling. He pretty much is a guy who could just like squash somebody. He's like a Samoa Joe, like it's a Samoa Joe build, just a little bit bigger. Kenny Williams, guy, Mr. Back to the Future for the United States. I remember seeing, I saw him during the World Cup of Wrestling, when What Culture Pro Wrestling did the World Cup last year before they changed the name. He went up against a couple guys. His big match, of course, was against Kushida. You know, those two both have a commonality because they are Back to the Future fans. They do base their characterizations off of Marty McFly of Back to the Future, and he is a hell of a worker. So Kenny Williams, I can't wait to see what he brings to the UK scene. He was on 205 Live this past Tuesday, and that was an awesome thing to see. El Ligero, the Mexican export from Britain. Mr. El Ligero, he is a caricature of a Mexican wrestler. He is like El Generico in the United States, only he is from Great Britain. He is a nice comedy fodder. I'm sure Vince McMahon will have fun with El Ligero as it comes to comedy, because he is a comedic act, to say. I mean, he did join the Prestige in What Culture Pro Wrestling last year, in which he became a bad guy. He wore a black mask with the black horns and black trunks. I don't know what they're going to do with him here, but the last time he was seen, he was a heel. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Joseph Quanos, of course, was there last year. Amir Jordan, I have absolutely no idea who he is. He's new. Moving on to the other ones. Travis Banks, the What Culture Pro Wrestling interim internet champion the last time I saw it, or the Defiant interim internet champion, because Zack Sabre Jr. had to relinquish it because he was not going to be able to defend it. And the Progress World Heavyweight Champion, the Kiwi Bodzsaw from New Zealand, he is one hell of a striker. This guy is a hell of a wrestler. This guy can put on, him and Pete Dunne in What Culture Pro Wrestling were known as Strong Style Collective. These guys they would tag team, they would hit you hard, and they would knock your teeth out. These two, Travis Banks, could we see Strong Style Collective being reborn in some way or another with Pete Dunne and Travis Banks under the WWE banner? I do not know. But the Kiwi Buzzsaw Travis Banks will be worth it to see. Now, Flash Morgan Webster, don't know who he is. He was on 205 Live. Jordan Devlin was also part of the UK tournament last year. Tucker, Drew Gulak, Ashton Smith, James Drake, and Tyson T-Bone. Now, out of these 16, because the 16 are going to go and face off at the Download Fest, the opening round of the tournament will begin at the UK Download Festival on June 8th, 9th, and June 10th. WWE Champion Pete Dunne will defend his title against the tournament winner at the June 19th event. Of course, the 18th or the 19th in June, we will find out more information on a UK series. Will we see a UK show being produced? Will we ever see, like, if the UK show gets produced? They have a lot of talent. They have Mustache Mountain. They have El Ligero. They have Joseph Connors. They have Travis Banks. They have Pete Dunne. They have all these guys. Will we see a tag team title with that division? I could see that happening. The United Kingdom Tag Team Champions. Who do I want to see make it to the Final 8? Joe Coffey, Jack Gallagher, El Ligero, Kenny Williams, Joseph Connors, Travis Banks, Tucker, Jordan Devlin, and Zach Gibson. I didn't go too far. Hold on. I got to try this again. Let's see. Joe Coffey, Kenny Williams, El Ligero, Joseph Connors, Jordan Devlin, Zach Gibson, Jack Gallagher would be interesting, and why don't we have Drew Gulak make it through? So those are my 8. We will have to wait and see. Of course, I'm hoping I know we won't get to see him unless they put him on the WWE Network June 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Download Festival in the United Kingdom. Anybody going to that, make sure to report it back to everyone, anywhere to tell us who's going to make it to the June 18th event, which will be the one-night King of the Ring tournament, as they are calling it. The winner goes on to June 19th to take on Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom Championship. WWE top star undergoes successful knee surgery. Uh-oh, who's out now? WWE.com has a new report up noting that Randy Orton has undergone successful knee surgery. You can find out an excerpt and see. Randy Orton has undergone successful surgery to repair a medial meniscus tear in his left knee. That is not good. Randy Orton also has stated, I have known I needed the surgery since late last year, but I've been waiting for the right time to get my knee cleaned out. Orton told the WWE.com, right now was the right time. The Viper is currently recovering home with his family, but says he is staying motivated to come back and dominate. That could be, that he is lucky. He said he's known he needed the surgery since late last year. It was a medial meniscus tear, which I'm pretty sure that he just needed to get some cleanup done and it will heal on its own. He's lucky. He's really lucky this meniscus tear did not get worse over time. A meniscus tear can go from medial to full-blown like that if you're not careful, which explains probably why he was careful over the last 3, 4, 5 months. So Randy Orton will be out, and news coming out is that he'll be out until right around the beginning of August, so we will not see Randy Orton back for another 2 months, which is great because that means somebody else gets that spot. Somebody else gets a chance to show the WWE what they can do. That also gives them a chance to use other superstars. So Randy's out could be somebody else's gain. Who that's going to be? Maybe that's why Rusev's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Maybe if Randy Orton was healthy, maybe that would have been Randy Orton's spot. So I'm going to sit there and say Rusev is in Money in the Bank because Randy Orton is injured. Take that to the bank. That might not be the case. Maybe there's a reason he's in Money in the Bank. But honestly, if Randy Orton was not injured, he'd be in Money in the Bank, no doubt about it. But since he is injured, Randy Orton is not in, Rusev is. That's my thoughts. So if that's true, then it worked out for Rusev. It works out for Rusev Day fans. There you go. Has WWE? Oh yeah, I would like to say get well soon, Randy Orton. We'll see you back later. Also shows another reason why absent grows makes a heart grow fonder. Has WWE given up on the revival? And it can be argued that following the Superstar shakeup, the tag team division on SmackDown Live has only managed to get even more competitive compared to Monday Night Raw. Yes, you have the Bar, you have the Club, who are going to be teaming off and on with AJ Styles. You have the Usos, the New Day, the Bludgeon Brothers. That's 5 tag teams right there. What does Monday Night Raw have? So the Leader of Worlds, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler, who aren't anywhere they need to be yet. The B Team, the Ascension, who are going to do nothing, and Breezango. But let's take those last 2 back. That's 3 tag teams that are even worth anything. The Blue Brand has been drawing plenty of praise for the work several teams did in the tag team division, but most notably the New Day and the Usos. No. Only the New Day and the Usos. Nobody else did anything. While the Bar helped to carry Monday Night Raw's tag team division, it was clear that the work the Tuesday Night Show was doing was slightly better. When you take into account that Sheamus and Cesaro, the Bar, and the Club have also arrived on SmackDown, along with the impending debut of Sanity, there's them too. That's another tag team. That's 6. It's going to take some special from Raw to decide to compete with the opposing brand. Raw does have some good tag teams. The Leader of Worlds are the champions. Fans are eager to see what Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre can achieve, while there's also a lot of potential in the Authors of Pain, who we have not seen in 3 weeks. However, according to Mike Johnson, a PW insider, WWE may have all but given up on one tag team the fans used to love despite them portraying villains. Recently, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson of the Revival suffered a loss against Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. The latest in a long line of signs at the show, the former NXT Tag Team Champions simply can't catch a break, though to reach the next level. many assumed they would have after having a brilliant run in WWE's development brand. However, Johnson has since highlighted that the signs are there that the Revival's position in WWE isn't great, while the fact that WWE being uninterested in them suggests they might have practically given up on even ever pushing them. According to Ringside News, he said, they are wasting Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder away. They have had the worst luck in the world. They came up, they started to get a push, Scott Dawson got hurt. Dash Wilder got hurt, and then he came back immediately after he came back. Dash Wilder got hurt, broke his jaw, and it was just one thing after another. They had bad luck, and the company is obviously uninterested in them. At one stage, big things were predicted for the Revival after they dominated the NXT tag team scene, and the reaction they received on the night they debuted after WrestleMania spoke volumes on how high the WWE fans were on them when they stood up opposite the New Day. There's a caveat to that because it is the night after WrestleMania. Anybody who shows up, Bobby Lashley got a huge reaction the night after WrestleMania this year. What has he gotten since then? Absolutely nothing. He is dead on arrival after that. The night after WrestleMania obviously cannot be a gauge to see what fans actually think. You need to go week to week to week to week and see if the fans still feel the same. Those fans are the hardcore fans who come from all over the world who are going to have a huge reaction compared to fans who are there normally. So that you shouldn't really take into account that all the Revival are loved, even though they probably were. But injury bug after injury bug did not help them. However, with stars like Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are in more prominent spots, it's a clear sign that things haven't looked great for the Revival for a while, as they don't feature in big spots and are usually limited to shows like main events. They are advertised to compete on some NXT house shows, while Johnson also suggests that taking them on television would be a wise move. Yeah. Speaking of this, Scott Dawson responded to a couple fans or something about being unhappy with how he is booked. And he tweeted, guys, I get to live my dream. I traveled around the world. I'm able to take care of my family and give them a life I've never had. And on top of that, we got to tear the house down last night. Why would I be upset? Relax. That right there, that tweet right there is not his true feelings, first and foremost. I'll tell you that right now. Scott Dawson getting asked, I was being told reading a tweet where a fan says, look, I wish they would tweet you better or they would book you better. How could you not be upset with being booked? Scott Dawson, as a company guy, is not going to come out and say, yeah, I want to be booked better. WWE is fucking with me. I don't like the fact that I'm getting booked like this. I want to be booked like a champion. I want to be booked like somebody that the fans can actually get behind. I don't like the fact that WWE is doing this bullshit to me. Blah, 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 blah. It's just not going to happen. WWE is not going to do, he's not going to do that because it's bad enough that they're getting buried as it is. Do you really want them to just continue, to be squashed in 2 seconds? Ding, 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 finisher, 1, 2, 3. No. How could WWE let this happen, though? These guys were touted as being the best tag team in the world at one time. Matches against DIY, matches against the American Alpha, matches against Enzo and Cass, and made them look like stars when they had no business looking like stars. Big Cass's career, he should thank the fucking Revival that he even has a career, because the tag team matches him and his fucking midget partner put on against them are probably the reason he's even on the main roster. These guys made those two chumps look like stars. They were touted as being a revival of the Brainbusters style of wrestling. And now what do we have? Them getting beat by the Leader of Worlds, which a lot of people are not liking right now, even though I don't have a problem with them. I still like the Leader of Worlds. They're not the best tag team in the world, and give them a long match against somebody. Give them a tag team of the year type of match that we could actually get behind, not these 5-minute matches. These 2-minute matches where they go in, they do a couple moves, and then they hit their finisher. No, we need to see proper tag team wrestling on Raw, and we don't see that still. But these two should, yes, they were at NXT's match. I think it was a thing in Oklahoma. You had the Undisputed Era saying they could be top guys on Raw. They could be top guys on SmackDown. It doesn't matter. And then the Revival music hit, and I guess they tore the house down. Again, the Revival got to do what they get to do best and actually put on a great match. But these guys being taken off TV is the best you have. Just put them back in NXT. Put them back in NXT under Triple H's watch. Give them a chance to get more momentum so they can come back up in about 6 months after the Royal Rumble. And then we could have them come up and they could be remembered and be like, oh wow, it's the Revival. These guys are actually good. Give them another shot at the NXT Tag Team Championships. Have them help elevate guys like the Street Profits or War Raiders or Heavy Machinery or TM61 or the Undisputed Era. These guys are worth way more than what they are getting right now. The Revival are one of, if not one of the best teams in WWE that are getting wasted away. You have the when the Superstar shakeup happened, why they weren't moved to SmackDown is beyond me. So beyond me. The club should have stayed on Raw. You send the Revival to SmackDown, give them a new lease on life, give them somebody else to help try and book them a little bit better, and give them a chance. Not this shit that we're getting right now. The B team, which is shit, and it's going to be shit, in my opinion. The Revival needs to be taken care of, and they need to be given a better front role, because this is just wrong for them not to be able to get that role. Is Nikki and Cena's breakup a publicity stunt? And this is another one of those towing the company line. The Bella twins are recent guests on the ET Canada, and Nikki Bella commented on what she thinks of naysayers who believe her breakup with John Cena is nothing more than a publicity stunt. I think sometimes people don't realize how you can affect them. It's kind of like when you try to talk to cyberbullies and tell them how you're affecting people. I'm a human being. I'm a human being that literally went through a breakup, and everybody's been through a breakup, and think of how you feel. Mine has just been blown up, and people are telling me it's fake. I'm faking it. You're now saying my heartache is fake, and that makes it even harder. It's just like what can I do right? That's just really, really tough. I don't know. When you have this breakup, and then we get to Backlash. I think it was Backlash, and they show a trailer for your new season of Total Bellas, and in that trailer is you and John Cena breaking up. That's a fucking publicity stunt, Miss Thing. That isn't a fucking real breakup. That is a breakup being scripted for a TV show. Don't give me that fucking bullshit. Now she's coming out saying, oh, I think John Cena wants to have kids now. Maybe I'll get back with him. Give me a fucking break. This entire fucking relationship between you and John Cena was fabricated and made up for WWE for them to do something with. Total Divas started. They needed something for you to do besides just being your boring ass self. So let's have you date John Cena. You and John Cena have a fucking relationship that nobody fucking cared about. But let's put it on TV. If it was a legitimate breakup, you would have left it off of Total Bellas, plain and simple. It is a fucking work, no matter. And you think she's gonna go out there and actually tell the goddamn truth? No. This is just like Scott Dawson? Yeah, Scott Dawson. It's just like Scott Dawson sitting there and being like, you know what? I'm fine where I'm at. I'm fine. Relax. This is good for me. I'm doing great. I'm feeding my family and all that stuff. They're not going to say anything that's going to be negative because they still represent WWE. Yes, Nikki Bella still represents WWE. If she would come out and say, oh, well, yes, it's a work. It's all meant for Total Bellas. That would look bad for her. That would look bad for WWE. That would look bad for the E! Network. So, whether she wants to admit it or not, it's a fucking work until I get proven otherwise. You're not going to sit there and take a personal breakup like that, blow it up all over the world, and then put it on fucking TV and sit there and act like it's fucking real. It's fucking fake. The proposal at WrestleMania was fake last year. The breakup was fake. The whole entire fucking relationship was fake. The entire fucking relationship was for TV. Plain and simple. It might not have been the entire time, but majority of the entire time they've been in a relationship, it was showcased on Total Bellas or Total Divas. That's not a relationship, motherfuckers. That's a stunt. That is a publicity stunt. That is just for show. I wouldn't even be surprised that when Total Bellas and Total Divas wasn't on, they weren't, unless they were in front of the camera, they were nowhere near each other, in my opinion. I just don't think they were. It was all a publicity stunt. Everything for the John Cena and Nikki Bella relationship is 100% a stunt. She's not going to come out and admit it. No, like, I wouldn't too. If I was in her position too, I wouldn't say it. Why the hell would I say that? That just feeds to it even more. Oh, I knew it. I was right. You would have, if she came out and said, this was all a publicity stunt, this is all for whatever, there would be 20 million fucking videos on YouTube and 20 million people on Twitch or what all these other social media saying, I was right, Nikki Bella's a hoe, she was da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, it'd all be fucking blown out of proportion, and it is a stunt. It is 100% a stunt. She can sit there and say that, but that's just her putting her WWE face on. She can't say anything. She can't tell the truth because if she does, it makes the WWE look bad. It makes her look bad. It makes John Cena look bad. It makes everybody in the fucking thing look bad. The real relationship in that family was Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Those two were dating way before when Daniel Bryan first started on the main roster in NXT. They started dating. That was years before Total Divas. Nikki conveniently started dating John Cena around the time Total Divas started. So anybody thinking that entire relationship was not scripted and not meant to be a relationship, and it's not a publicity stunt, you are stupid. How does Vince McMahon reportedly feel about Drew McIntyre? WrestleVotes tweeted in the following, alleging that Vince McMahon is still very high on Raw superstar Drew McIntyre. This contradicts a couple weeks ago where I was hearing reports that Drew McIntyre, like WWE saw no future plans for Drew McIntyre. Texting with a source, WrestleVotes tweets, heard that since his return to Monday Night Raw last month, Vince McMahon has been very high on Drew McIntyre. Triple H, also heavily involved in Drew pairing with Dolph Ziggler, is for the time being, but could turn into something big down the line. Hashtag TWAS. I have no idea what the hashtag stands for, but whatever. I really hope that is 100% true because Drew McIntyre, you look at Drew McIntyre. I saw Drew McIntyre after his release in WCPW of all places, of course, because when you're a fan of What Culture and they make a wrestling promotion, you want to check it out, and he became their champion. And the guy put on match after match after match clinics. This guy worked his ass off. This guy even admitted that when he was in WWE the first time, he became complacent. He didn't give a fuck anymore. He was pretty much just like that. Vince McMahon comes out and is like, you know what? This is the chosen one, and he literally took that as literal. Like, I'm the chosen one. I'm gonna be champion. I don't have to work that hard. He goes out, he gets fired from WWE, he goes home. If you really want to check out Drew McIntyre, I hope they still have it up, but if you really want to check out Drew McIntyre shoot the hardest I've ever seen and the most truth, you need to go find his shoot promo from What Culture Pro Wrestling in 2016 when he came back from his neck injury and he went off on Joseph Connors. And that promo, he pretty much wore everything he has ever said on his sleeve. He wore his entire emotion on his sleeve for that interview. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because it was a great fucking interview. It was a great interview, a great segment. Just like Drew McIntyre went out there, he became What Culture Pro Wrestling Champion. He held that title to a high standard. He wanted to make that championship mean the best championship in all of UK wrestling, in all of wrestling. It was a UK-based promotion. You don't see that happening. But then he comes into NXT last year. He's at the WrestleMania. He's at NXT TakeOver in Orlando in the crowd. He comes back. He wants to make NXT, taking it to the next level. He wins the NXT Championship at Brooklyn. He holds it until War Games, but in that entire time, he wanted to make that championship mean more than any title in WWE, which kind of, honestly, it means a lot more than most of the titles on the main roster. Just saying. But he comes in and he cuts on great matches. He cuts great promos. He looks 10 times better than he did before. He grew a beard. He looks like he's worked himself out. He looks like he's worked out. He looks like a future WWE World Champion. Drew McIntyre. I cannot sing this guy's praises enough. This guy is championship material, and I'm hoping that whatever him and Dolph Ziggler do, I can see them being WWE Raw Tag Team Champions. They can go into not Money in the Bank, but Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules. Oh, win the titles at Extreme Rules. Win the titles at Extreme Rules. Hold them till SummerSlam. Lose them to whoever the fuck they want to lose them to because of something that happened. And then Drew McIntyre turns on Dolph Ziggler, and he is off to the races to be a singles star. Then we get Seth Rollins, if he's still the Intercontinental Champion, versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental title. Take my money. Take my money if we get that match. I would love to see Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. I would love to see that. Then if he's successful to win the Intercontinental title, then he becomes the Intercontinental Champion, and he hasn't had in 10 years, 11 years. Then he goes off. And if he doesn't win the Intercontinental title, fine. He goes off and he battles to try and become the Universal Champion. Why? Because if Brock Lesnar still holds the title by then, I could see Drew McIntyre being a legit guy to beat Brock Lesnar. This guy is tough as nails. This guy is by far the absolute best at what he does. I'm hoping these short matches, with him and Dolph Ziggler, are done and we actually get him in longer matches. Because this guy can put on a fucking 20-minute classic with anybody. Go watch him face Ricochet in WCPW. Go watch him take on Rampage in WCPW if you can find him. This guy puts on great matches. This guy is a great promo. He has the look that Vince McMahon loves. He has that look. He has the stature. He comes out and says, I am here. I am the wake-up call to get these WWE superstars, which his promos are shoot style because a lot of guys in the back are of that mindset that they don't care. They're getting a paycheck, and that's all that matters to them. Drew McIntyre doesn't want to do that. Drew McIntyre doesn't think like that. Drew McIntyre is the future. This guy is not even in his prime yet. This guy should be the guy who wins the Universal title. This should be the guy who kick Roman Reigns off the pedestal. Seth Rollins should be the babyface. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre should be the heel. Bruce Pritchard on his latest edition of Something Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard on the WWE Network did say the top babyface is nothing without a top heel. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre should be your top guys. Seth is the babyface, Drew is the heel. Those two, all year, trading the title. Drew holds it for 6 months. Seth Rollins beats him for it eventually. He holds it for 6 months, and then it leads up to WrestleMania. Somehow, someway, you get SummerSlam between SummerSlam and WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship, with one winning the title from Brock, the other one beating the other one after a 3-month period as being champion, and then it trades back again. And then when we get to where there's a rubber match for the title at WrestleMania between these two. We get Drew McIntyre, we get Seth Rollins, and there you go. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Universal Championship match. Fuck Roman Reigns. He is not ready. He is not the guy. Your two top guys in WWE on Monday Night Raw should be, by the end of this year, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I'm getting out of here. That is our Unscripted for episode 24, May 19th, 2018. Find me on Twitter at TheFrance. Find me on Facebook, on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. I still don't know why I keep saying Facebook. I don't have a Facebook anymore. And also make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, smash that like button, and I will be back here for Monday Night Raw's review next on Monday Night Raw, where we will find out where the Jinder Mahal and Roman Reigns feud continues, which honestly I don't give a fuck about, and who is going to also qualify for the females edition of the Money in the Bank. And I'm hoping that the tag, and then of course on Tuesday, I guess The Miz is going to reveal who's going to join the Money in the Bank ladder match. NXT, of course, will be back, of course, on Wednesday, and then next week for episode 21 of Unscripted. Until then, my name is TheFrance, and you guys have a good one.